Hey, Camper, to start off with, mate, able to provide a bit of an update on the injured guys from the weekend, notably Taylor Walker and Royce Sloan?
Yeah, no, they obviously got through the game, so they're obviously still a little bit sore, but they'll go through the process of getting evaluated today. So I haven't got an update really in terms of where they're at. They've come in the next couple of hours, so the high performance team, the doctors will check them out. But as I said, they played the game out, so we're hopeful they'll be right.
With Sloan, you said yesterday on Channel 7 that he'd been carrying a knee injury now for a little bit of time. Given you're 6 points ahead with 2 games to go, do you now just sort of rest him for Friday night's game, given you want him to be at his best for the finals?
Pretty important game Friday night, I would have thought, after what Sydney did to us in the final. So we're looking to finish the season out. But as Pocky, he's stated publicly that we won't take any risk with players. But if they're fit and ready to play, they'll play.
Is he fit and ready to play if he said there's been carrying this knee injury now for a while?
Yeah, well, a lot of players are carrying sore spots, injuries, throughout the season. So, and Sloaney is no exception. So that's the way he plays. He's a competitive player and he's going to be sore. But as you've seen, he's been able to play the season out so far, so I don't think there'll be an issue. What
about Andy Ottenhoff? Did his ankle at training last week? You got any results about how serious that is? Or
no, I'm not sure exactly when he'll come back, but yeah, it was a decent one. So we're hopeful that he'll be sort of right before the finals, but I haven't got a real time frame on him.
Just to confirm with Tex, was it the same foot that he had a bit of soreness with last week?
No, different things. So yeah, he's just stubbed his toe in the ground. So.
You mentioned last year's final. Is that going to be a talking point this year or this week, a motivator?
I don't think it'll be a motivator. I think we learned some valuable lessons out of that game. So, we like to think we've improved since that final in the way we played in all 3 phases of the game. So, we've been able to, as I said, improve throughout the year. But Sydney's a great test. I mean, they're probably the form team in the competition. So. It's always a tough, hard game against them, and Friday night, hopefully a sellout crowd for our supporters. It'd be a great opportunity for us to see where we're at going into the final series.
Is there a bit of an advantage taking on a contender late in the season as opposed to perhaps playing a bottom 8 side?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always great to potentially play against teams that you may face, and Sydney play a real finals brand of footy, so it'll be something that we'll look forward to, and obviously the contest and the way they defend will be an important part going into a final series, yeah.
If you sealed up a top 2 spot, at what stage do you look ahead to figure out how you're going to plan, given everyone has the week off before the first final and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Theo. We had a little discussion this morning in match committee because, potentially you play this week and next week, then there's a week off. First final, if you win that one, what does that look like? So, without getting too far ahead of ourselves, we've got to make sure that we plan correctly and the guys are getting enough game time to make sure, and training intensity to make sure they're at the level continually.
Is that a bit of a relief now that is locked up and you can now put some concrete plans into place?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always nice to be 2 games out and be sitting and knowing that you've got particularly a home final the first week. That's all we can look forward to. But as we said, we're really keen to play well against Sydney on Friday night to test ourselves again.
And Campo, you touched on Sydney. I think they won 12 out of 14. How much of a motivation, or is it that you would knock them out for top 4 if you could beat them on Friday night?
I don't think there's any motivation for us to knock any team out. It's more about how we play. And the confidence and the belief that we keep building going into the final series, worrying about knocking teams out in where they sit.
You said you were better this time round than last time you played them in the finals last year. Without going into too much detail,
I'm not going to give you any detail.
What areas do you think that the Crows have improved in the last 12?
Well, as I said, I think our whole round game has improved. I think our contest work's improved, and guys have gone to another level in that space. I think we're still moving the ball as good as what we have been, but I think collectively our team defence has improved as well. So I'm not going to go into details in terms of what those things are, but in all those 3 phases we think, and we've got great belief that we've improved.
Is it players stepping up and playing better individually, or is it the team stepping up?
Oh, it's all about the team, absolutely. It's a collective in all those things. So once again, in all those phases, the team's improved. We've added a little bit here. Guys have improved. That have come along the way. So once again, we're a different team than what we were when we played against Sydney last year as well. So it's going to be a great challenge for us.
One individual though, Matt Crouch, is he underrated, unheralded? Outside?
Well, he's certainly not underrated in my opinion. I think he's been, probably our best, or if not close with Rory, our best two mids in the last 18 months. So if you have a look at his last 2 seasons, he's been as consistent as anyone in the competition. But I've just been really proud of his progress. He wants to get better. He's got himself super fit. He's a real professional off the field. Wants to learn, and his consistency's been outstanding. I mean, if you have a look at his numbers, he's right up there in the competition. So he's having an All-Australian year, no doubt.
I know he's not in your group, but Alex Keith's another one who has taken his spot and going to be pretty hard to kick him out now.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. I mean, these guys are hungry. They want to play in a finals team and hopefully a premiership team. So he's a competitor, Keithy. He don't want to give his spot up for anyone. So look, he's I wouldn't say he's surprised anyone in terms of what he's done, but he's certainly cemented his spot in that back six there, and he's given us a different look as well.
How's Tails going? There was obviously his groin issue and the hard deck at Etihad, and this week looming and chasing Franklin around all night.
Yeah.
How's he going?
Yeah, no, he's fine. No, he's fine, Tails. He's a bit of a warrior, Tails. He doesn't miss too many, so I expect him to be giving Buddy a bit of a hard time on Friday night.
I was going to say, you said Sydney was the form competition, but do you ever sit back and think that you're the form side of the competition?
Well, you never like to talk about yourself. In this industry, you can get burnt pretty quickly. But yeah, obviously we're doing a few things right. We wouldn't be sort of sitting where we are on the ladder if we weren't. So, but we respect Sydney highly, and what they've been able to produce as a footy club over the last 6, 7, 8 years. They've always been in the finals. And full credit to them, their coaching group and the playing group, where they were at the start of the year, shows how mentally strong they are. So, once again, as I said, great challenge for our group.
Thoughts on the hair ruffle, Campo?
I'll let you guys discuss that.
Thanks, guys. How far away is Hardigan, by the way?
Yeah, he's close. He's close. Yeah, he will obviously have to get through a full week of training, but yeah, he's not too far away.
So he'll probably come back through the sandfall, given he's missed 4 weeks.
Not sure. We'll weigh up what the back 6 or 7 looks like versus Sydney, and we'll make that equation.
And Tommy Lynch's biscuit on the weekend, is that generate a fair few laughs among the coaching group and the players?
It did, yeah, absolutely. Tommy prides himself on his goal kicking, so these things happen.
Different reaction if the game's in the balance, though, I suppose.
Yeah, always is there.